morning. Welcome to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay, and joining us right now is Youth Pastor Darisa Griffith with St. James Baptist Church. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I love your outfit. When you came in, it was like a bright ray of sunshine coming in with the violet and love the hat. Just like she's so put together on a Monday.
Girl, it's Monday. We gotta be lively, you know.
I know.
Got enough dark stuff happening in the world.
I
Somebody
know,
has
like
to
I'm
be,
all drab
right?
today. I'm like I'm in gray and black and
Oh, stop it. Your hair is working with it. You look fine.
Thank you.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
that. So tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you.
Let's see, I am 30 years young. I've been living in Ville Platte my entire life. I graduated from Ville Platte High School, class of 2009, in case any of them watch. We always represent
That's
our
right.
class. I'm currently still in college at Louisiana University in Alexandria.
Okay.
I'm an arts and English major, and from there I'll be furthering my educational studies in theology and Christian education,
Nice.
of course, to get credentialed in that. I'm licensed and ordained, the first black female to be licensed and ordained at the St. James Baptist Church in Bayou Chico, Louisiana.
Awesome.
Pastor Reginald R.V. Sr. and leading lady Alicia R.V. are our leaders, and it's just a joy to be who I am and do what I do.
I can see you love it very much. So how old were you when you first kind of got the calling, or did you always live that? I'm sure you grew up in the faith and
Yeah. Oh, that's such a extensive question. I guess, look, to start from the kind of sort of beginning,
Okay.
I've been knowing that I was called into ministry since I was like 8 years young.
Wow.
But it was such a journey to get here. It was a long process to actually understand what I was supposed to be doing. You know, in our church traditions in the Baptist church, especially the missionary Black Baptist church in the South, you do everything until you find your place. I've done singing in the choir, ushering, playing instruments, singing, praise dancing, until finally I ran into preaching, or preaching ran into me, and God led me to St. James. I believe I was 23 at the time, and I started preaching then, and I'm going on my 7th or 8th year this year. It'll be 8 years I've been preaching this year, look, legally, because
Legally.
clearly I've been doing it and didn't know I was doing
Right.
it at an early age. But hey,
you were
I'm
on the
just
school
glad.
ground just preaching to your
Yeah, it just
classmates.
it would just happen. And like, and they always call me preacher or reverend or pastor, and I just blow it off. But
That was
I
your
knew,
destiny. That was your destiny.
I knew. And of course, I can't continue this conversation without saying my mother's name is Patricia Harris. It's a very prominent name in this community. She's worked so many jobs. She's worked at the library, the police jury office, and CLECO, places everyone goes. And she's back at the library. She retired to get another job, so I have to shout my girl out. So yeah, and thanks to her and all my family, I've always been reared with great intentions and educational background and religion, and not just, you know, some people hear the word religion and they get nervous. But religion is not a bad thing. It's how you apply it.
Exactly.
And a lot of people like to go by the talk of what would Jesus do? We make things easier if we did what Jesus did.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's what I go by.
Yeah,
Not
I
what
like
Jesus do what he did.
That's
And
right.
you fit into the category of a great Christian.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because we hear about fake Christians a lot, right?
Yeah.
So like they're very Christian. They go to church on Sundays, you know, but then the rest
girl.
of the week they,
Yeah,
you know.
it's kinda
So
off.
what do you say to you know those particular people?
The naysayers.
Well, not the naysayer, but the ones who like oh, I'm absolutely great, but they
Yeah.
only act, you know, follow Christ in church,
Yeah,
but then the rest of the week they're just
Yeah, I still call them naysayers
are.
because they don't fit the criteria of genuineness or sincerity. I'd say they're right in the category of the ones Jesus came for at the temple. The Pharisees and Sadducees, they look the part. They say all the right things, but when it comes to actually portraying the life, they're missing it. And it's not hard. I tell people all the time, we make church too hard. We make Christianity hard. We make belief in God way too hard. If you apply it, it works.
Yeah.
It works. Just as simple as a smile and a hello. greeting
Right.
someone, holding a door open, just simple things.
Yes.
Very simple things can make the world such a better place, especially now. We're living in pretty hard times.
We
I
are. And
mean,
just a small act of kindness goes a long
I
way.
mean, extends very
Mm-hmm.
far. So I'm just throwing that out there to everybody. Even if you're
Yeah.
not a believer, it can change someone and make them one.
Right, and I love giving people just random compliments too because
Very
it
random.
makes their day. You see, like they smile. I
Yeah.
saw this one lady; she had really short, like spiky hair, and it was
Uh-huh.
blue, and I thought
Yeah.
that was really cool. I was like, "I
Very.
love your hair," and then her whole demeanor, she was
Change.
she was so smiling. She's like, "Thank you so much."
Right.
You know, it's just simple things like that can
Very
make someone's
simple.
day. You
I
know?
tell people that. I mean, humanity could be a very good word or a very negative word.
Right.
But I mean, just tell people something good about them. They
Yeah.
don't see it coming, especially
Right.
now. You know, that's cool. I would be that one to randomly yell across the store and tell somebody, "I like your hair," and
Yeah.
they're like, "Where'd it come from?" I said it, just because, something to do.
Yeah, you're right. There's just so much darkness in the world. Just be a ray of light. You know, be a ray
Yeah.
of light in the world.
Definitely.
So, how important, going back to the church, how important is St. James Baptist Church to the community?
I don't think there is a person who's not heard of the St. James Baptist Church. And what I love about our church is very diverse, even though it's in denominational constraints of being in the African American community. We're extended to all genres of people, ethnicities, because we are one of the first church plants in this area. Because I don't want to get this wrong on TV, but I think we're like 209 or 10 years old.
Wow.
And right around the same, however old Calvary is down the road, we're the same age, our churches,
okay.
because we were
Yeah.
from the same pastor back then. So we're sister churches. And
I never knew that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, girl. We have extensive history. So everything connected to Calvary and St. James, we are very proud of, because this is Louisiana history
Yes.
that we're a part of. And for me to be led there by the Holy Spirit, knowing that God was going to plant me there to be the first Black female to be licensed and ordained there, I take very seriously, and I'm grateful for that opportunity, and I hope I'm making them proud and everyone else.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Who's inspired your ministry the most?
My great-grandmothers were both missionaries, missionary Yola Harris and missionary Mildred Skinner Thomas. Those were my catalysts as a young girl. I've been in church. Tell people I practically grew up on the church floor. And even if it wasn't the actual building, we used to have prayer meetings in our house. So I've always been around praying women, praying men of God. We have preachers in our family. And I just always love God. I love the Bible. And I saw what it would do to people's lives, because, as I said, with the simple acts of kindness, the mission ministry that we had from our home, they would go out in the community. They would fix these love baskets for people, and we go out and bring them. And I was a little tight, just tagging along and ringing doorbells, knocking, helping out. And from that, I just had a love for people. I had a love for doing things. It was different. You know, some people, they hear church and like, oh, you guys are there all day. Not for me. Ministry and church is 365, 24/7. Wherever I am, we are the church. I become that. And
Absolutely right. The church
that's
isn't just a building. It's,
it's
the
just
people.
a structure.
Yeah.
It's who we are and what we do. So I've been in this since as long as I can remember,
Right.
and I love it.
I could tell you love it very much. And I love what you said about how your grandmothers inspired you, and just being around when you'd have prayer meetings at their home.
Yeah.
Because growing up, we grew up Catholic, but my grandmother would have coffee parties, and they'd always pray the rosary. So all these
Right.
little old ladies would pray their rosary. They do it in French.
Right.
And they would have coffee and homemade biscuits. And then after they did their rosary, it was the funniest thing. They'd start gossiping about everybody. I'm like, y'all should gossip and then pray the rosary. But
Right.
that's just me.
I get it. That's funny.
But yeah, we get inspired by the by the older generation.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about being a youth pastor, but we're going to take a quick break, and
Okay.
because I want to talk to you specifically about how the youth are they easier or harder to reach today. So
Okay.
we'll be right back with that.
Yeah.
This is Pastor Darisa Griffith with St. James Baptist Church. You're watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Hi, my name is Ian Fontenot, and I'm with Cajun Broadband, and I get internet way out here. Oh, I got a tweet. So what's good about Cajun Broadband, you got a local company, you got local customer support, you got small businesses, couldn't even have a peace of mind knowing that their security cameras work in the evening, because the service just wasn't up to par. And we come in and we're an option, and we're a local option.
Be strong and courageous. That's the message Jesus has for you if you're injured or ill. Keep your eyes on Christ and let us at Fontenot Physical Therapy and Fontenot Physical Therapy West help you run the race. Fear is useless. Just trust in Jesus and let us help you have hope in your future. Have a happy new year and God bless you.
Welcome back to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay. We've been speaking with youth pastor Darisa Griffith of St. James Baptist Church. And when I say you walked in like a ray of sunshine, like you're shining even brighter now. Like I just love hanging out with you.
Hey, it's mutual, I promise
Yeah, it's
you.
mutual. Awesome. And before the break, I wanted to talk to you about the youth in particular, because I know we have our older generations, like we talked about our mamas and stuff, and you know how they are very, kind of sturdy when it comes to faith and religion. But it seems like today's youth is not as easy to reach them. Do you find that's the truth?
Yes.
Yes. So how do you reach them?
Well, they are clear cut. They don't like secrets. They don't like any parading as far as what it is. That's it. They don't want any facades, any faking, tiptoeing or creeping around. I learned that early on. I called myself protecting them, only sharing so much. And then one time, one of my kids came out, Minister D, have you smoked before?
Smoke what?
Right. And that was exactly my response. Like, so what did you, and we got into this whole long conversation, and I'm thinking, well, if I don't tell them everything, they'll still respect me. I have to tell them everything for them to respect me. They need to know that it happened to me. I did it. I didn't do it. They want to know.
Right.
They have to know.
Right.
Because we came from a crew, just those few years in between, we were like the explicit lyrics, they let you know that stuff was going to be bad. Now everything's just bad, and they have hands-on, communication with it. They can reach it. It's accessible. So now, especially in the church, we can't beat around the bush. And we often talk about in our inner circles that the church is behind with the rest of the world as far as information and getting to know things and getting things out there. We call ourselves shading the children or adults or keeping it a secret. We can't do that anymore because they're going to get a hold of it eventually. So we might as well get it converted into understanding it God's way through the Word of God than before it's all misconstrued another way.
Right.
So, I'm just very hands-on and direct. And I ask them, of course, I talk to parents, because some of them still try to keep them sheltered. I get it, but I let them know, look, we're in a whole different world. They're going to find out.
They're more advanced today because they have access to more information today.
I
want to make sure they're getting the right information.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. So I'm clear cut with them. They already know.
That's the best thing, and they know. That's the thing about kids. Like they know if you keep something from them.
And that they're
little detectives.
and the thing is, it's not even like the teenagers. It's the little kids, like 3, 4. My godson is 3, and he questions me about everything. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I saw this, and he showed me something on YouTube. YouTube is. That's the open world right there.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And well, speaking of parents, like if a parent comes to you and asks for your help, maybe turning their child around because they're going the wrong path. I mean, how do you approach that?
Different situations call for different measures. There have been times where I knew it was out of my control, and I've had to find counselors or even the police or ambulance or whatever the case may be. But I'm like this, even if I can't do it myself, I'm going to stay with you every step of the way. Especially as a praying woman, I'm always praying. Some people, they'll close their prayers. That's cool, but even if I close it, I'm reopening it because there's something I got to ask God about.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm very direct and straightforward with parents. because of my own personal experiences I've had in my life. You know, some kids, they'll have things going on, but they don't feel like they can tell their parents. And that's just always been a thing. I
know that was me growing up. Like, I was like, I'm not talking to my parents. I'm too afraid of what they're going to say or do.
And you know, I don't know. I guess it's always going to be that highlighted part. So there have been some really tough moments where it was like, I have to tell your parents, and they were like, please don't tell. But I had to make them understand it's because I love you.
Yeah.
And because if we don't tell them, this could happen. And once they were exposed to understanding the consequences of not telling their parents the truth, they were like, okay, let's go, as long as you stay with me.
Right.
So I'm very big on support in whatever context it may be. So I stick with them so they know I'm here for the long haul. We're going to get this done.
That's good that you're with them, because it also maybe keeps the parents from, you know, being out of control with them, because you know, if there's nobody around, parents are going to be a little more harsh, and you know. Yeah, I know my mom one time threw a shoe at me, but you know, that's a different story.
Understood.
It's just because I interrupted her on the phone.
Yeah, I got an extension cord a couple of times. It didn't actually sting, but it was close. Like,
oh, mom would be like, "Go break me off a switch right now."
I know.
You know,
I think the parents of the South are way different from the rest of the world.
They are. Like, my dad didn't do physical punishment, but my mom, go get your dad's belt.
Yeah, like, what's up?
That's the thing. Like, today's kids, like, I'm not gonna go get that, but
I
didn't think so. I was like,
Girl,
okay, I'll go get the belt, and I'm going to take my leg.
It was automatic.
It was
like,
automatic.
I'm
like,
not getting hit twice because of this. We're just going to get it done. That's
and I was
funny.
a bad kid, though, so I understand now. But
we're going to talk about that later.
Right? So now, aside from the youth, what do you think people need the most today? When it comes to like spirituality and, you know, and faith, what do you think people need the most?
It just keeps going back to just doing, not just saying, not just portraying, but becoming. And it's not that we can be, Paul said, I can't be all things to all people.
Right.
But for whatever I can do, I can try and be that. And even if I can't, I'm going to find someone who can.
Right.
It's just more so of presenting what we talk about all the time. I'm not a preacher of just word, but, you know, you'll hear people say, do you walk your talk? I try as much. I might trip a little bit, but I'm gonna get back to it. And I think everyone does if we're honest.
We're all just human, you know. Be honest about it. We're all
some
human.
people they really try to make like this is a whole different place. There are never a bigger group of more messed up people than the church. I mean, I don't know, whoever said that it was perfection, they lied, and that point blank. And we're all just striving to try to be better, to be Christ-like. And if we just apply what we know and talk about, love your neighbor as yourself, literally, I think we could do a little bit better as human beings. Because I would often say, you ever watch animals? Animals are so kind to each other. They're so gentle, especially to the younger ones. They'll make sure they get what they need. They're really patient. If animals can do that, surely we could do a little bit better.
Right. I don't know. You haven't seen one of my mama cats like swat her baby, like get away from me. But
but
they love their babies.
I get that point. I have cats too.
Same thing. But that kind of answers my question about my next question is, what do you say to someone who wants to be part of your church or even another church, but they're afraid of being judged, like they might not be welcomed?
Yeah, look, I kind of answered it.
Yeah, you kind of did. Because
I do get into it. I tell people, look, we're all just trying here. Now, maybe you've seen this analogy on social media or heard it before. Like, do you stop going to the gym because everyone else is out of shape? No, you keep going, and you're all striving to get in shape.
Right.
That's what the church is.
That's a great analogy.
That's
I like
what the church is. We're just all striving to be better at being humun.
Work your spiritual muscles.
Yeah, spiritual muscles.
I like that very
That's
much.
it.
What's your biggest challenge when it comes to your ministry?
Oh boy.
We have about 2 minutes left, so let's get the shortened version, the abridged version.
My biggest challenge, I would say, is the fact that I'm younger. Sometimes I'm looked at as, what would she know? What does she know?
Oh, yeah.
And even being female, but I choose not to touch that one anymore.
Right. Yeah.
That's just the fact that
but
I'm
it happens.
now.
I mean, because it's so ingrained in our society that sometimes people don't even know that that's how they're, you know, talking or
right. And I'm very lenient. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but I try to live in a way that, look, kills all of the superstitions and the cliches and any
Right.
questions that they may have. And then once they get comfortable with me, even just for a moment, if I can try and break through that wall quickly, it makes for easier belief, for lack of a better term, as far as like, oh, she is who she is. I'm trying because I'm not just representing myself. I answer to a higher power.
Okay. And what's your favorite part about your ministry? Real quick, because we're about to close out, but what's your favorite part?
People. I love people.
Awesome. That's a great
love
answer.
people.
Is there anything else that you want? Because Dee Dee was like, close out, so they're going to fuss me. So
Okay, we
I
good.
don't want to be rude. But really quick, how does someone get in touch with you if they need your service or St. James Baptist Church?
If you can reach St. James Baptist Church, St. James Bayou Chico is how we're listed on Facebook, and you can reach me, befriend me, send me a message on Facebook, Darisa LaBelle Griffith. I promise you, I'm the only one you'll find. Darisa LaBelle and Griffith. So yeah, contact me. I'm here.
Darisa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
Nancy. You brightened my day. Just
Oh.
some people are like that. Like you just, it's like I said, a ray
You're
of
great
sunshine.
too. I'm telling you, I couldn't just
Thank
do
you.
this with anybody. So
Thank you. I'm going to hang out with you some more.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
Darisa, thank you. With St. James Baptist Church, we're going to take a break and be right back after this on Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth West with the Evangeline Parish Tourist Commission, and I'm here to tell you that you need to prepare for Mardi Gras in Evangeline Parish this year, because it's happening in the village of Chaitanya and the town of Mamou. So visit our website at evangelineparishtourism.org to find out all the details of what will be happening and why you definitely don't want to miss it.
Before John Deville and his staff can unlock the doors, there's a gathering outside of the Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana. His staff would like to invite you in for a dining experience you won't forget. From fruits and salads made fresh every day to a spacious environment to stretch your legs out and loosen your belt loop. Enjoy Central Louisiana's best in seafood and steak. The Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana.
Good morning. Welcome to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay, and joining us right now is John Deville, owner of Cajun Catfish Buffet and Steakhouse. Or did I get that a little bit back? Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet. Because you're going through a few name changes, but that says it all. That's what all y'all have to offer. I think the buffet might be the most popular part.
Yes, definitely.
Because y'all are on 167 North, outside of Ville Platte. And I know whenever I pass by there, some nights there are people just waiting outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're lining up. So.
Yeah, we open at 5, but there's people out there sometimes at 3:30,
Oh, I knew like around
waiting.
4, but 3:30?
Yeah.
That must be a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Do your staff kind of look at that and say, oh, they're here early?
Well, it lets us know that we have to prepare to get ready because they're about to bombard us.
I know. And you have such a good staff.
Yeah.
They are some of the best cooks and waiters and waitresses. And you have a really, really good.
We've been there. It's now going to be almost 8 years, actually in March, and most of the staff have been with me since then. So
That's really good. That's really good. And so 8 years you've had it. Now, it used to be the old Catfish Kitchen years ago, right?
Right. Mr. Harold Charley.
Okay. I didn't remember who had it, but I remember
Which
going
is
there
a
when I was
relative.
Okay. I was going to ask if you knew him personally, but yeah, you did. Okay. What made you want to buy it and open up a restaurant there?
It was just an opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been a restaurateur actually most of your career. So you've had different restaurants and so forth. So you've loved cooking your whole life, basically.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I grew up doing that. I was inspired, by my mother. she loved to cook, she loved to bake, and that kind of thing. So I was always, at the stove with her. And then from there, whenever my uncle, who was well known, was Prince Charles, and he had a restaurant as well. He had movie theaters, he had different businesses.
Wait, Prince Charles, our swamp pop singer, Prince Charles?
Well, now
Because
that's
I
not
think there's
Prince.
two of them.
They were in the band together.
Oh, okay.
Prince Charles was my uncle. He is the one that was the manager of the band.
Okay.
Then there is Charles. He's not Prince Charles.
Gotcha.
Some people get that mixed up.
Yeah.
But he's the singer of the band.
Gotcha. But
Yeah.
they were together. I didn't know that.
Right. Yep.
I didn't know that. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
And so let's go back to your mother. What was your favorite thing that she used to cook?
She cooked, everything. It was all the Cajun, dishes or whatever. So whenever it come down to seafood, that's
Ooh,
whenever.
that's my favorite. I love
Yeah,
seafood.
that was mine as well. So.
Yeah, very good. And I mean, that must be really nice. And look, I love my mom to death, but her idea was cooking was open a box or a can.
Right. Yeah.
There were a few things that she made really well, from scratch.
Yeah.
But mostly it was a box or a can. Like I was joking to somebody the other day. I grew up hating asparagus, like nasty. How could anybody eat that? Until I was a full-grown adult and tried it fresh,
Right.
not out of a can. I said, "What is this?
Yeah.
Asparagus? Are you serious?" But
Right.
fresh ingredients should make all the difference.
Right,
Yeah.
and we had a garden, sometimes 2
Mm-hmm.
acres, and so it was always fresh vegetables and things. So
Oh, I'm jealous of that.
we grew up, so it was always scratch.
yeah.
Mom always baked every night. It was, fresh biscuits from scratch, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, my dad was more the experimental chef in
Yeah.
the family, but no, Mom made some good stuff too. So, what's your favorite dish to make? Do you have a favorite?
well, with the restaurant, I think my favorite is it's a pasta. It's our spicy shrimp and chicken pasta. It's something that I tasted at a restaurant and then just
Added your own magic to
Yep.
it, and yeah.
yep.
Where is that? Why come we don't have any?
Yeah, it's a little early.
Yeah, I know. This morning, John was like, "Did he bring any?" Sam said, "Did John bring any food with him?" I said, "I don't think so. It's a little early for that." But yeah, it's certainly very popular. Your restaurant. I mean, I've had people, friends over from Bro Bridge, and I've taken them there,
Right.
and they just love it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 95% of my business comes from out of parish.
that must be a really good feeling too.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing that they, yeah.
I guess the first year and a half, whenever I opened up, it wasn't going all that well. It was a little slow, trying to build up the business and struggling. And then Facebook, social media, and I decided to spend a little bit of money in advertising on there. I did that. I left the same time, I go every year to my family in Baltimore, and I get a call from my employees. They're like, "What did you do to us?" And they sent me a picture, and the line was all the way to the road, waiting to get in. And they were like, "All we have is rice and flour left."
Oh my
Like, I don't know what to serve. So yeah, I'm making calls. Hey, I need seafood sent there, kind of thing. So and ever since then, it's been booming. So social media has really helped me out.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you do most of your marketing and advertising, but yeah,
and it's through that, and we have I think it's close to 300,000 followers on Facebook.
wow.
So
And that's really
yeah.
something because you guys are kind of out in the middle of nowhere, basically.
we are.
Y'all are on 167 North, okay, so like going out of Ville Platte, heading towards like 13, that kind of area, but you're going to turn right before that.
Correct.
Yeah, at the light by Teats. Turn
Yep.
by Teats. And then just head north, but you're
Yeah,
kind of in the middle
it's
of
about
nowhere.
2.5 miles out
Yeah.
north of Ville Platte.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
And,
But yeah, we have people from Texas that come, from Houston that drive out. They come out quite often. We've had people from Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida. Every weekend we have somebody from a different state that come out to eat our food. Yeah.
That is-
They see it on Facebook, that kind of thing, and they're like,
Yeah.
we have to try. Some of them may have family out here, so they make a trip to come and see family so they can try.
Right.
A lot of people stay at the Kinder Casino, but yet come eat at our place.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. What's the most popular dish you serve? I know the buffet's popular, but do you have like a popular dish off the menu?
They do order some. I guess our pasta.
Yeah.
is kind of because it's a little bit different. But other than that, most of
Mostly
it
it's
is
the
just buffet.
Yeah, and that buffet is something good. Like
Yeah.
I love the boiled shrimp that you guys have. Oh,
Yep.
it's flavored so well.
Right,
Now
right.
I'm getting hungry, John. Like I shouldn't be talking about this. This is still kind of breakfast time. I shouldn't be doing, but that's definitely some good stuff. So. How do you manage to keep your restaurant so successful that people are coming from all around? I mean, what's the secret to keeping it going?
It's just the love that I have for food, and to be able to see people enjoy it is what makes the whole thing.
Right.
So whenever people come to me and say, hey, I've loved your your food, everything was excellent, then that's what makes it all.
Right.
So it's just a matter of I have to make sure that it's good product that goes out. If it's not something that I like, then I won't serve it.
Right.
So, and that's what I explain and I teach to my staff. Would you want to eat this if you went to the restaurant type of thing?
Right.
So make sure that it goes out, and
Good.
it goes out good.
And I was going to ask what's your favorite part about your job, but you kind of answered that, seeing the people
Yeah.
enjoy the food.
Right, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the most challenging part of your job?
It's just to keep up with it all, basically. There's a lot to do. We don't, we're open Wednesday through Friday, 5 to 9, but there's a lot of prep beforehand. Sometimes we'll see, over 400 people in a night. I seat about 120. So we roll on these tables, as fast as we can.
And I've seen your staff in action. I mean, they are so good, and they're fast. They're on top of it. They know their stuff really well. And I was going to ask also a little bit, because you do a lot of community service as well, and I want to get into that because we're going to have to take a break in a minute. But I want to talk a little bit about your volunteer work coming up, and about some of the highlights of your career. So stick around with us, okay? And we're going to be right back with John Deville, who I should mention, by the way, one of our dear loyal sponsors. I mean, we could not have this show or this network without people like you, and you've been a big supporter of us since the beginning, so we really appreciate you being here.
Not a problem.
All right, so we're going to be right back talking with John Deville from Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet.
Before John Deville and his staff can unlock the doors, there's a gathering outside of the Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana. His staff would like to invite you in for a dining experience you won't forget. From fruits and salads made fresh every day, to a spacious environment to stretch your legs out and loosen your belt loop. Enjoy Central Louisiana's best in seafood and steak. The Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana. Hi, my name is Ian Fontenot, and I'm with Cajun Broadband, and I get internet way out here. Oh, I got a tweet. So what's good about Cajun Broadband, you got a local company, you got local customer support, you got small businesses, couldn't even have a peace of mind knowing that their security cameras work in the evening, because the service just wasn't up to par. And we come in and we're an option, and we're a local option.
Welcome back to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. We have been speaking with John Deville, who is the owner and the head chef and manager and everything else with Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, and also one of our loyal sponsors who we appreciate very much, which is I was saying before the break. And also, I wanted to mention about your community service involvement, because I don't know if a lot of people, people around town and around the parish know you very well of your community service, but people outside, maybe you're people from Texas or Mississippi or North Louisiana, they probably don't know this about you, but you do a lot for the community. I know personally that you volunteer every year with the Swamp Pop Reunion. And and I shouldn't just say volunteer. you donate all the food, you cook it, and your staff comes and sets up the Civic
Right.
Center.
Yeah, I was asked years ago, and I guess this is going to be, we're going to do it again this year, and it's probably maybe 5 or 6 years. I forget how many times we've done it, but the first year I've done it, I was just saying, hey, they said, cook the gumbo. I said, sure, not a problem, we'll do that, and I did. And then there's a hospitality room for
Yes.
all of the people that they come and volunteer, they give up their night to come, all of the legends.
Right.
And so all it was gumbo, and I said,
Yeah.
this doesn't go well with me. So now it's a big spread.
Yes,
And
and it's
it's
beautiful every
basically
year.
we bring the catfish there, the restaurant there for them, and we baby them. And I have my staff
Yeah.
that comes, they serve them as if they're in a restaurant. So, and they love it, they enjoy it, they look forward to it each year. So we love it and have a blast with it as well.
And your staff
So-
loves it too.
Oh yes, definitely. They are all anxious again that we're actually going to be able to do that this year.
That's wonderful.
So-
And they even set up the Civic Center.
Yeah,
as
now
well.
we actually are the ones that go in, set up the tables, chairs, decorate. We pretty much set and do everything for them. There's, all of the others have done it for so many years that, they can't do it anymore.
It's a huge job to do.
Yeah,
So the more
yeah,
people, the better. So I know just my personal experience, I've been there for years, so working at the museum. So we appreciate you every single year, you and your staff. Like, I can't tell you how much easier that makes our job,
Right,
you
right.
know, that we don't have to go in and do that. So what inspired you to want to help out like that?
Well, my uncle was part of it, and he loved
Right.
it. And I enjoy the music, and to be able to sit there and learn from them. They come in, and I get to visit with all of these legends,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful, and to see their smile as well, and them enjoying the food and being able to. So, and a lot of them now frequent the restaurant as well.
That's really great.
So yeah,
That's
so we have a blast.
I know, and I could always tell that they appreciate it because
Yeah.
they're always talking about, oh, the food is so good and they're
Yep.
treating us so well. So you can tell they love it a lot. But it's not just the Swamp Hop reunion where you volunteer. You've also, you and your staff have volunteered with the Girls and Boys Place of Ville Platte. What have you
Yes.
guys done with that?
I work with Ms. Diane, who's in charge of that, and
Diane
we've
Freeman. Yeah.
yes, and we've been doing that for quite a few years, ever since they moved over to the old nursing home building, and there as well, I'll give back to the community, and that's what it's about. It's one thing to be able to be in business and take from everyone, but you have to give back, and to me, that's what it's about. So I like to give back to my community. I do that. I have given and like food whenever they high school, Ville Platte High, they go on their away games and that kind of thing. I do sandwiches for them and stuff like that as well. The other thing that we do is Christmas. We've done it for the past couple of years. We decorate the little town square across from the city hall. We do
I
help.
didn't know that y'all decorated that. 'Cause it
Yeah,
looks
my
so
staff
good,
and I, we started doing
Yeah,
that,
it's so
trying to make things a little bit different. And actually, this coming Christmas, there's going to be, I think, a little bit bigger surprise that's coming to the park. So I'm not
But
going to
we
let
have
out
to
what
wait all that time to find out what it
Yep,
is.
yep. So I think I think that people will be surprised. So
Maybe I can get you to tell me whenever we're off camera because now I don't want to wait that many months to find out what the surprise is going to be.
yep, it'll be something different. So.
But in addition to all of this, I mean, you do other community projects as well, and I know Chico State Park, they still have COVID patients. Usually it's homeless people or transients or so forth who don't have a place to go, so they're being quarantined there, and you guys actually make the food for them.
Yeah, we cook right now. We're cooking. We have a few patients. It's not as many as there have been in the past, but we cook lunch and we cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for them 7 days a week. So
What's the most you've ever had to cook for, the most patients?
it's about 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now it's dwindled a little bit, a good
Yeah,
bit since then.
as of right now, it's about
Yeah.
14 patients.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But,
and it's coming back down.
I
So
can't imagine having to cook like every day, 7 days a week for 100 people.
Yeah.
And just go and bring that out there. But I think that's just wonderful that you guys do that for the other people who don't have anything.
Right.
And also in the past, I know I've been involved with the community theater, and you guys have used your restaurant for murder mystery dinner, or
Sure.
and also a little play we did, an I Love Lucy style mystery.
Yep.
So that was fun. So have you always liked theater, or just part of giving back to the community?
Yeah, it's giving back to the community.
Yeah,
Yep.
very good. Yeah, and so is there anything else you guys do? Because that's a lot.
Yeah.
Y'all are always giving back. So, well, I know the
Yep.
community really appreciates all of that.
Sure.
Yeah. So what have been some of the highlights of your career as a chef?
I guess this is pretty much it,
Things are good now.
Yeah, things are really good at this point in time. Things are going well. And I'm able to staff people and give people jobs. That's important in our community. And I would hope that our community tries to shop local, go to the local restaurants, locally owned.
Yes.
We have quite a few here. We used to, like my style restaurant, it's not just your normal buffet. It is the Cajun authentic food that we have and we serve.
Yes.
And at one point, we had one on Chautauqua. We had the Logans in town. They had multiple. They had this one, then they had
Right.
Betty's. We had 4 or 5 of them, and they have dwindled away. And in the state of Louisiana, there might be 3 or 4 that have this type that's left.
Really?
So we're losing that, and it's going to all the commercial where you have what I call ball in a bag. It's not cooked,
Right.
fresh from scratch kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, goes to staff. I have, a lady that has been cooking she has cooked at many of these places in the past, and she has been cooking for me for many years. So having them, that's what makes it. So I'm trying to train and pass that on to others so we don't lose that.
Do you think you'd ever want to retire, or you just want to keep going as long as you can?
As long as I can.
I can tell you love it so
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's just
definitely.
part of your. I think your mom would be very, very proud.
Yeah.
If she were around today, would she be cooking in the kitchen? You
She
think?
would definitely be cooking in the kitchen, and she would be in the front, greeting them
Yeah.
as well. Yep.
I'm sure. I'm sure. How many people are on your staff?
I have probably about around 18.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like that compared to like people waiting in line at 3:30. I mean, they must be
Right.
just. But I'm sure that I know they work hard because I've seen them in action before. I
Yep,
mean,
yep,
they're not playing. They're just
No, yeah.
they're on point with their drinks. So we always make sure to tip.
Right.
Leave that tip. Oh, and I can't tell that's an aside. People need to tip their servers.
Right.
Tip your servers. I've had lots of people in my family who have waited tables. Tip your servers, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know sometimes in rural areas it's they don't think about it maybe.
Right.
But I mean waiters and waitresses in our state anyway, they don't make as much like minimum wage, so they rely
Correct.
heavily on tips.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I definitely wanted to mention that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, John, before we close out, is there anything that you'd like to bring up or talk about the restaurant? When are you open again?
I'm sorry?
When are you open again?
We open Wednesday through Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m.
Now, have you tried opening other days since it's so popular? Or these
I
days
haven't,
don't work, or
and
just-
that's something that we're looking at doing.
Okay, good.
And we're also looking at doing what they call a ghost restaurant. I did have the Cajun Coop, which we recently closed.
Yeah, that one was
But
really
what
good
we
too.
are going to be doing soon is we're going to start offering to deliver. So we're going to have
Okay.
some of the same foods, but we're going to deliver to the businesses to start off with. And if it goes well, then we'll do other,
Nice.
and branch out
Very
for
nice,
that.
because
So,
as popular as it is, I know sometimes, and I know a lot of people, I'm glad you mentioned that people should, try to stay in their parish and work with these restaurants, because we have so much good food around here,
Right.
all over the parish. And it just seems like the thing around here, we're going to go to one of the big cities, it's the weekend. And,
Right.
and I get there's more to do in the big cities, but I mean, it's sad that you get most of your business from out of town.
Right.
So y'all go support your local restaurants, especially
definitely.
Cajun Catfish Buffet and Steakhouse and Buffet, however you want to put it.
Yep.
Yeah. Always some good food. John, thank you so much. We appreciate your business here and always supporting us. And thank you for always giving back to the community as well.
Sure, no problem.
All right, that's John Deville. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll take a break. We'll be back after this on Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
At 1319 South Chautauqua Road is Paul's Specialty Meat Market and Grocery, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience. Specializing in smoked meats, specialty meats such as stuffed roast, holiday turduckens, boudin, crackling, fryers stuffed with crawfish and cornbread, and large freezer specials, providing fresh smoked meats to the community for 27 years. That's Paul's Specialty Meats and Grocery, 1319 South Chautauqua Road, Ville Platte, Louisiana, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience.